So I'll let you share your story about working as the ag incubator at SIFT.
So that's where people get it confused, because everybody knows SIFT. Well, most people are familiar with SIFT, so they just call that place out there SIFT, or like ag. There's so many different names for it. So like, basically, I'm Zach Zientek. I'll start. So currently I'm on an internship. It started as an internship for Herzl Farms. The way I started that was Herzl Farms. Well, Herzl's is my fiance's family. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with DiFratelli products at all. DiFratelli tomato sauce, or they sell salsa, tomato sauce, anything you can make with tomatoes. They have a factory in Northwood and Pemberville and one in Ottawa. And actually, they just posted something on Facebook about they were on 13 ABC. But that's who I work for. That's my internship. But they also own the property at the Ag Incubator Foundation, which is out by Haskins, not too far from here, probably 15-20 minutes from here. It's on 582 and Route 25. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of an incubator farm or so. The idea of an incubator farm is basically to incubate somebody's idea. Somebody comes with an idea and they can start there and grow. Right now the kitchen is really successful. I think we've had about 30 or 40 different tenants that use, and the kitchen is called the Northwest Ohio Cooperative Kitchen, which is managed by SIFT. SIFT is the Center of Innovative Food Technologies, and so most people, like Scott, will refer to it as SIFT, but the property itself is called the Agricultural Incubator Foundation. Yeah. So a lot of confusion with names. So Herzl's is involved because they purchased the property, 15 years ago from Heinz. It used to be a Heinz research facility, and they purchased that from them and kind of started the Ag Incubator Foundation, which is no employees, just ran by board members. And basically I was put out there to help manage it, help kind of turn it into something. It's also a research farm, so we have half acre of hops, which was through OSU. OSU has a field in Worcester and one in Piketon, and then they put this field in 2 years ago and kind of didn't have anybody taking care of it. So they had me go out there and help manage that. So that was pretty successful. We just harvested 2 weeks ago, and we're currently drying the hops now and giving that out to, we're not selling it, we're just giving it out to local breweries. So if anybody makes beer, let me know, I can get you some hops. I'm also doing a half acre of Brussels sprouts. One of the producers in the kitchen makes a Brussels sprout relish. So he was interested in having somebody else grow some. He has about an acre of Brussels sprouts at his property. He grows all of his peppers and onions and everything else that goes into the relish, but he can't grow enough Brussels sprouts. So we figured we'd put in a half acre out there and see how it goes. It's going really well right now. Last week he made his first batch with everything locally grown. Everything he grew, plus the sprouts that I grew for him. Right now I'm working on coordinating with the board to kind of get it set up with a better model, so it would be more, because I've been doing a lot of research on other incubator farms where they have a type of model where you would start out with a class like this Agripreneur. How long was this? How many weeks?
4 months in theory.
4 months.
12-week course that we condensed to 1 week.
Okay. So ideally there would be, I guess, after this class, after you graduate from this class, what are the next steps? And I guess, to be a little informal, I think we should kind of go around and should we introduce, we're a short, little small group.
Take it away, Jessica.
Yeah.
So I'm studying sustainability at the University of Toledo.
Okay.
I'm combining entrepreneurship and environmental, which is a lot of what this class is about too.
All right.
And then I probably just want to be done with that and just become a farmer.
Yeah.
That's just one step. You know, I'm learning about technical writing. I'm learning about how to find out about other things that are out there in academia. And, you know, then my best friend like does permaculture in Malaysia and staying up to date on all of that and connecting locally with people. I was involved with Tea Grows before.
Yeah.
I'm taking the OSU program right now, so
OSU.
just like soaking it all in right now.
What program? Urban Master Farmer.
Urban Master Farmer.
Oh, we're gonna be in that class.
Oh, you
Sweet.
guys?
Yeah, I signed up. I'm taking that class
Cool.
too. Nice.
Yeah, and plenty more, but yeah.
So hitting on it all, but ultimate goal, farmer.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Hi. I'm Rachel. I don't have as much cool stuff on my plate as she does.
Don't worry, it's no.
You got goats and chickens, huh?
Yep.
Goats and
And
chickens.
dogs.
And dogs. All the animals.
Great meat source.
3.
3 dogs? Fun.
And I think 7 goats.
I'm just trying to learn how to make as much out of the land that we have as possible, pretty much. Just trying to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, permaculture is something that's one of the main focuses of permaculture, honestly. Like, you know, the land that you have, getting the most out of it. So, you know, by supplying yourself with as much. And
Well,
then,
and our goats became a fertilizer source for pretty much any of our vegetables this year.
yeah.
So. And then the pig that we had last year actually ended up
Being good bacon.
being the best fertilizer source because he volunteered a bunch of plants. And we had pumpkins upon pumpkins upon pumpkins just spring from nowhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I've learned to eat pumpkin a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, are you marketing anything, or are you kind of just doing the whole?
Well, right
Homesteading.
now I make jams and I make pickles and then I make soaps and like beauty products.
She's good at soap.
That's nice.
She makes really pretty soap.
Those I market. I would love to be able to market like my vegetables and stuff, but right now I'm just not at the place grow talent wise. I'm still more of a black thumb than I'd like to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I've learned the same. Like this year, before this year, I'd never even had a garden.
Yeah.
Like I've never grew anything. Like I did landscape before this year. So yeah, a little my background, I guess. I'm 22 years old. I went to the University of Findlay for my first year of school, and I was going for pharmacy. Didn't really. The only reason why was I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was good at chemistry and science in school, so I figured, you know, my mom would be really happy, I guess. $100,000 is what they said you can make, so I'm like, I don't know, I guess that sounds good. So I did that for a year, and then I realized I grew up a little bit and kind of just realized that I was going for the wrong reasons, and I didn't want to go, you know, it's a 6-year program, I didn't want to go 2-3 years and really just hate it and be like, alright, I need out. But then you're already in, it's a private school too, so I was like, just from that first year, all that I went into, and then I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Went to Owens, just finished off, I was living in Perrysburg, driving to Findlay too, which was a 45-minute drive, and Owens was 10-15 minutes away, so I was like, alright, you know, I'll finish there, get an associate's, maybe I'll know what I want to do after that. So, did that, just got a general science associate's from Owens. I took a greenhouse management class. I took a plant science class in their LTM program that they have, which is just landscape and turf management. So, it was a little closer to what I wanted to do, but still was just focused, like the greenhouse management class focused solely on floriculture, growing flowers, which is awesome, brings joy to people with aesthetics. But I was like, I want to grow food, you know, like can we talk about food production?
Food.
Yeah, but you know, it was all just, you know, chemical laden floriculture, and so I learned a lot, but it still wasn't down the road. You know, you got to take in what you take in it all, and then, you know, throw away what you don't want. But then I found after that, last year, it had to have been last December, I found this permaculture class, intro to permaculture class, through Owens with Brad Miller. You remember Brad?
I took a class with him.
Did you take Brad's
I
notes?
took his alternative energy class.
Oh, I wanted to take that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I took his intro to permaculture. I think he still offers it, but took that and I was just like, this is it. Like I read about permaculture, you know, online, and I heard about it, but then going and taking that class, I was like, yeah, like finally somebody's talking about this stuff, and I was really excited. And then after that, not too long after that. When did I first come here, Don? Beginning of this year?
January of last year.
January of last year.
Well, you went.
I took your class. Yeah, January of last year. I took I took Don's hugelculture class at the 577, and I was like, I already planned on doing hugelculture in my backyard, and I had heard, you know, when I lived in Perrysburg, 577 was, you know, a place I'd go to a lot. So Vicki Gallagher over there, wonderful woman, she told me way before, she was like, you need to talk to Don. And I hadn't had time. Finally took his class, and I told him I needed to come out and see his place. Came out here right when you started your food forest. That was the first time I came out here.
It was about March.
March?
Yeah, mid-March, yeah.
So I came out in March, and this place was just like, oh, this is everything. Like, I can't believe nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is, you know, knows about this, really. So that's where I kind of was, you know, I don't know, that kind of made my ideas more focused on what I wanted to do. Dave, sorry, I kind of went on and didn't let you do your intro.
I've been doing greenhouse and produce work for 5-6 years. The biggest appeal for this class for me was the business aspect. I don't know anything about business.
No.
And then finding new routes to take, new things to grow, new ways to grow, and I think that's been beneficial with this quite a bit.
Yeah. Good. So that's what I've struggled with a lot too, with the business aspect. Like, I knew I wanted to grow stuff, and, you know, I grew the hops this year. I grew the Brussels sprouts this year. We have a vertical. We have the vertigrow system that they have at the University Church. We have one at AIF. It's through SIFT. SIFT has that out there, and they didn't have any plans with growing anything in it this year, and I didn't really have any plans of what I wanted to grow or where, but my boss gave me a bunch of seeds that they got from the seed swap, and they were like, hey, because we have, 3 greenhouses out there? 4 greenhouses. 4 greenhouses empty. Nothing in them. Nobody's in them. There used to be Wood Lane, did a CSA, and they were renting some of the one of the greenhouses and some of the land, and they were running their CSA out of that. And that ended 2 years ago. And then there was Naturally Native, which Jan Hunter, she was there probably 5 years. And so when I started this year, in December, there was really, everything slowed down. There was nothing really going on out there anymore. Jan had moved to Indiana, so Naturally Native was gone, Wood Lane was gone. So everything outside that was going on isn't anymore. And like the kitchen's still operating, and Paula Ray, who's in charge of the kitchen, and she works for SIFT, she's pretty much the only other person that works out there. And then me. But I'm not solely out there. With Herzl's, they have a lot bigger operation. That they have a compost operation, they have grain cleaning operation, and then they have the farm, and then they also have the 3 canning facilities. So learned a lot about, production agriculture, big production agriculture. You know, they have, I think, a couple hundred acres of tomatoes and cabbage. So in the beginning of this year, when we're planting, I went out with the crew and I helped plant cabbage and I helped plant tomatoes. And then just Sunday I helped harvest tomatoes. So it's cool seeing those different sides of, you know, messing with the urban setup of the vertical grow system, and then going out and seeing hundreds of acres of tomatoes that are just with a big tractor and 6 people on the bag, you know, sorting out tomatoes. So it's cool to see the two different ones, and I mean, Herzl's really does do a lot in sustainability, but they're so huge already that I kind of wanted to find a medium between just urban ag and then that. So ideally, I'm hoping, I really don't know what the plan is for next year, honestly. So I guess I'm hoping that we kind of, I can talk with the board a little bit and kind of come up with more of a model for people like me, because I told them if it wasn't for the intern, like I wouldn't have had the in if I wasn't part of the family. So like the fact that I'm marrying into the family and I showed interest for agriculture, they're like, awesome. And I just had finished my permaculture class, so I was talking about that, excited about that, and then they were like, hey, you should go out to the incubator. And I'd never been out there. And the first time I was there, I was just blown away with all the resources there. Like, there's 160 acres. I was going to bring pamphlets for you guys, and they're in my car, and I didn't have my keys, and I had to drive the work truck here. So, but look it up. Look it up on Facebook too. I post a lot of stuff on Facebook about the house.
We'll post something too.
Yeah, post some.
We'll follow up in an email too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I mean, get a hold of me and come out and see the place, and we could maybe, you know, if you know anybody that would be interested in even making a product in the kitchen, because we have people making salsas and making jams and making all types of things in the kitchen, specialty product wise, and then even people who would want access to greenhouses or land. But right now it's just not set up. That's why I kind of talked with the board. It's not really set up with a model where other incubator farms will do a class like this. You know, they'll offer this class, and they'll, after you graduate this class, they're like, now you have access to a quarter to an acre, and with that, you know, we're going to supply you with, we have a farm manager that's going to till up for you, and then you have a walk behind tractor that you can use, and you can use, you know, our tools here, and you can pay an additional fee to use their fertilizers. So I'm hoping that we can kind of create that, because it's kind of just been this place that the kitchen runs really well, and I also have, what, 15 acres of that 160 acres is just woods that would be open to, you know, mushroom production or some other type of either research or production wise. So, I mean, it's really cool. I've learned a lot this year. I'm grateful for the experience, grateful for Scott for thinking I'm important enough to come and talk at this. I was excited that he asked me, because, I mean, before this year I didn't know squat about agriculture or growing anything other than research, looking stuff up online. But hopefully I just keep learning more. And does anybody have any questions? Yes.
How do people begin to, what's the entry point for getting involved in the incubator kitchen or the ag incubator? Is that?
So, the incubator kitchen would be Paula. So, oh, that's what I need to tell you too. So, October 22nd, I think, it will be on 577's website for their classes. But me, Paula, the lady who's in charge of the kitchen, works for SIFT. My boss, Lou, who is the Herzl Farm manager, and he's technically the manager for AIF. He's got a lot on his plate, so he's not really out there as much, so he kind of tossed me out there so he could coordinate with me. Him, and then Bridget, the lady that's in charge of our compost operation, will all be speaking at 577 about AIF, about the opportunities out there. Hopefully between now and then we can kind of sit down and come up with more of a, because I was even like with pricing and just a model for people to actually access it. Because the kitchen's set up. If you call and talk to Paula, she'll tell you, I don't even know all the rules with the kitchen, but she has it laid out with, you know, what process. You have to take a business class, and then, you know, they work on your label, and they work on your business plan. So, ideally, me, I guess, since I'm the only other person out there, will get to a point where we have that whole setup for the outside. So you come, take a class like this, come up with a business plan, and then we give you an acre and work with you to get to a point where your market, you know, starting a CSA, or just growing for the farmer's market, or doing a specialty crop, or doing permaculture techniques. I have out there, my boss kind of let me do whatever I wanted out there since there wasn't really much going on, and my main focus was the hops and then anything else he had on the side. So other than that, the vertical system and the Brussels sprouts, I put in one 50-foot hugelkultur mound. I did that alongside, side by side with a mound that is just, instead of having all the goodies, the wood, the logs, the wood chips, straw, leaves, I just did just clay soil with topsoil, or with compost and topsoil. Same mound, same length, same height, and then I planted zucchini, yellow squash, what else? And beans. I wanted to do corn, but corn takes a lot of nitrogen, and I didn't know how well it'd do on the mounds for the first year. And they say, like, you're not going to see your results with hugelkultur until the second, third year, you know, once everything starts breaking down. But I did that just as a side-by-side to see what does better. And then I also inoculated 40 oak logs with mushroom spawn. I did oyster and shiitake. Just another see if I could do it. My boss said, yeah, sure, do it. There's nothing else going on out there. So did that, and you know, hopefully we can attract interest from more people that are interested in things like that, permaculture, classes like this, and kind of get an actual incubator farm going.
Great.
Anything else? Any other questions?
Guys, any other questions? Fire away. All right. Well, I wanted thank you, Zach, by the way. I was really excited for you guys to kind of see a closer. Well, as we learned, it's not a finished project, right, Don?
Nope.
Right.
Not much around here is finished. A lot started.
But there's a lot of infrastructure. There's 7 years, at least. How long ago did you start? Did you say 7 years ago?
The berries were 2008, the blackberries. So, yeah,
That, a little more.
8 years ago.
A lot of time and energy in this plot of land already. So to see an idea coming to fruition and to be plugged in and understand Zach's perspective and the kind of things that you've been working on, and hopefully what I'd like to help sort of facilitate is by the time that the winter class and the Assets Toledo business mentorship program finishes, and I don't know, like I said, if you guys want to jump in the spring one that is actually going on tonight, Olivia said that would be great. But
There's a winter one though too?
The winter one is where some of the other students who are graduating from the course will probably attend. By the time that's done, I'd really like to figure out how to get land and space for folks like yourself, so people who are finishing up with a business plan with the full perspective, making sure that whether it be through the city or through the ag incubator, that we have free space available and hopefully some tools. So I'm going to keep kind of hammering away at that idea, but I'm on board. However, whether we do it in town or out in BG, wherever the soil is ready.
To get people growing food, right?
Yep.
That's the goal.
So thanks for sharing your story, and guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for making the drive. Have some more food, please, and stick around for a little bit. And that concludes Agripreneurship 2016. Thank you.